Welcome to News9 MediaVerse and you are watching On Point. In a recent survey conducted by the Ipsos IndiaBus survey, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's approval rating has increased to 75% in February 2024 from 65% in September 2023. Why has the rating soared so much? Is it just the performance or Ram Mandir Pratishthan ceremony? There are multiple issues, but Prime Minister's soaring popularity can be attributed to his strong global leadership and strengthening of the cultural identity of India. His leadership has been truly transformational. Prime Minister not only played a transformative role in social sector, but Prime Minister also played a very, very important part when it came to governance and certain of the schemes in which he created new constituencies of those people who had needs, but it was not caste specific. There were requirements, but they were not specific to the community. So it is for this reason his popularity continues to soar high. So let me take you through certain important data points. And through these data points, we will come to know how well the Prime Minister has done. So it's the 75% approval rating for Prime Minister Modi. 75% approval rating, 75. It's pretty high, keeping in mind that he has been in power for 9 years. Now let's go to the next graphic. What is very significant is that the Prime Minister rating soared by 10%. 10% increase from September 2023 when it was 65%. Generally, your ratings fluctuate. But in case of the Prime Minister, the rating has not fluctuated. The rating is going up right before the election. So I think it's a very, very important development that the Prime Minister's rating are soaring high. Prime Minister has done well for himself. But there are multiple reasons. Third graphic. Now Feb 2003 approval rating was exactly 67%. That's the approval rating. But what was the game changer? What really changed everything? December 2022 approval rating was 60%. So the approval ratings are going up. They're going up. The approval ratings are not going down. The approval ratings are like topping right before the Lok Sabha elections. Right before Lok Sabha election. And after Pran Pratishthan, they zoomed up. Highest rating is in North Zone. I would like to say one thing. BJP swept entire North India, both 2014 and 2019. It's not a good news for opposition. It means BJP can consolidate its seats in every part of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. It's not a good news. Haryana, Punjab are states with few seats. Imagine if the consolidation takes place in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, 120 seats. Now East Zone, 84% and West Zone, 80%. Let me just stay here. What does East Zone mean? It means West Bengal. It means Odisha. It means even parts of Telangana. It means Northeast. So bad news for the Congress party is that Northeast, they will not be able to claim. There's also bad news for Mamta also. And that bad news is BJP can look forward to make gains in a state which gives 48 seats, which is West Bengal. Now I'll talk about the West Zone. West Zone. It is Maharashtra, Gujarat, Western Madhya Pradesh, 48 seats in Maharashtra. Again, not good news. Next graphic. Lowest rating is from South Zone, 35%, and this is also very important. South is one area where there's a lot of regional pushback, and the only place where Congress can say that, well, we can defeat BJP. Congress has defeated BJP in Karnataka. Congress defeated BRS in Telangana. Congress, DMK are solid, and Congress is solid in Kerala. So that is a problematic area. This South is a problematic area. But then going by East, North and West, I think BJP will come home very easily. Very, very easily, because I would say in South India, one state is going to be an exception and another state will see a slight improvement. In Telangana, BJP is expected to do well, and in Karnataka, they might not sweep every seat, but they will be the dominant party. But then that's the only hope area for the Congress party. Next graphic. 79% of the 45 plus age group favors Prime Minister Modi. 45%. The key people, the workforce. Next graphic. 75% of the age group 18 to 30 favor Prime Minister Modi, which means the first time voters will have a lot to say. So before, I'll just take a quick comment from Brijesh here, and then I'll go back to the graphic. Brijesh, 18 plus 75%, it's the first time voter.
Well, I think, this also speaks volumes about the effort which has been pushed by the BJP and also by various factions of the larger family of NDA, and the emphasis they lay on the first time voters. If you look at the fact that, the Prime Minister, whenever he's making a speech which is nearer the election and all, the maximum energy is devoted to the first time voter, because until unless you incorporate first time voters or try to give them a push, there is no way you can increase your seat tally, or you can make a difference to the margin of victory in seats you have won. So I think that's a very, very important aspect, and it is, these figures are, Karthike, simply staggering, if I may add the word.
Okay, so now let me go back to the graphic again. There are other areas which we really need to talk about. Next graphic. 71% of the age group 30 to 45 favor Prime Minister Modi. Next graphic. Now, Modi government's performance rating. Now, this is very, very important, and we will stick to this graphic for some time. It's a very important. 76% education, 67% cleanliness, 64% healthcare, 56% pollution environment, 45% poverty elimination, 44 inflation, 43 unemployment, and 42% corruption. So opinion on corruption is divided, but Modi has done hands down well on education, sanitation and healthcare. Corruption, he has not done well. I am also joined by Raj Lakshmi Joshi, political analyst, Sanjay Rana, another political analyst. Thank you, very warm welcome to both of you. But first I'll go to Raj Lakshmi Joshi. Raj, there are four things here, and let me go back to the earlier graphic, which is very important. Prime Minister ratings are sky high in North India. It's sky high in Northeast. It's sky high when it comes to West. But they are not sky high in South. That's where the anomaly is.
Yes, true. Even I was looking at these figures, and they're not very surprising, very frankly, because the BJP is still trying to make inroads into a lot of the places in the South. And let me tell you that even if you look at these ratings right now, I'm sure that this has seen a rise in the percentage, definitely. Because, the PM, in spite of the fact that, in Tamil Nadu and in Kerala, the BJP has, virtually not won any seats in the past in the Lok Sabha elections. But in spite of that, he has made so many visits. He has, practically been having all these Kashi Tamil Sangamam, all these kind of initiatives that have definitely made a huge outreach to the people in Tamil Nadu, especially, and even similarly in Kerala also. So I think that even if they win a few seats there, like I think you could say maybe 4 or 5 seats right now. Even that actually would be a big rise from where
I think,
they are
guys,
not even.
we have not gone into nitty gritties. I would say this, it's not the whole South. I think Telangana can behave very differently from Andhra Pradesh. But then when I say South, yes, I'm talking about Kerala, I'm talking about Andhra Pradesh, I'm talking about Tamil Nadu, I'm talking about Karnataka. Sanjay, is it correct to say that, this north-south divide is there, it's getting reflected in the poll, 92%, 83%, 87% north, east, west, and then you have this 35%,
Yes, Karthik, if you're asking about the percentage, why absolutely is showing the difference is 92 versus 35. But if you look at the Bharatiya Janata Party as a party, people used to call this party as a North India party or be Hindi belt ki party. But the kind of penetration Pradhan Mantri is doing in the southern state is obviously, we need to appreciate that. And it's look at the roadmap, it's increasing. I'm not going to integrity, we will discuss separately, but 35% was not at all there 2 years back. But look at the numbers. They have the number, the way he's penetrated in Northeast, the way he's penetrated in, especially I'm talking the West. Obviously, North was anyways there, but the percentage has been increased. If you look at 2019 number and 2024 number is a huge difference. I think if I'm not wrong, almost 10 to 15, 20% difference is there in his approval rating. So Pradhan Mantri is taking care of all, sabka saath, sabka vikas. And especially I was looking at the number, which is very, very, it was not surprising, but interesting for any party is 18-year-old, the first-timer voter I'm talking about. The kind of penetration Pradhan Mantri has done in this particular age group is really commendable. I would say that other political party has to look at how he is working, how he's interacting. He's not directly interacting, but he's influencing by the way he's approaching, the way he's working, the way he's driving the schemes, whatever the schemes is there. So somehow, somewhere, these people are totally, inclined towards Modi ji, and if its numbers is coming 71% is really, I would say it's a great job. But yes, in the southern state, BJP is trying to, increase their pie. They are trying to extend their riches in Tamil Nadu.
Sanjay, I'm sorry I'm stopping you, but there is some more interesting data. This data which was being played. Let me just take those tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. These are very important data. Just let me take you through them. 84% in tier 1 cities, 62% in tier 2 cities, 80% tier 3 cities, and 64% metros backed Prime Minister Modi. These are almost absolute numbers. 64 might sound low, or even 62% might sound low, but these are not low numbers. You see, in politics, if you are above 55%, you're making it.
Sounds low compared to 84.
Yeah,
it's not low in itself.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I think Brijesh had a point. It sounds low compared to 84%, but it's like a complete sweep. It's a complete sweep. 84, 62, 80, 64, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I mean, it just tells you that BJP might have problems somewhere, Prime Minister doesn't. Let me play out the other plate. Let me play out the other plate of the graphic, and let me play out the plate in which we'll go to the sanitation and other areas in which the Prime Minister has done well. Now, this is also something which is very, very important. Rahul and Sanjay, I would like to come to this debate because it's also very, very indicative. You see, corruption remains forefront of the political narrative, but the numbers have not come from the corruption, 42%. But numbers for the Prime Minister have come from education, sanitation. He spoke about sanitary pads, sanitation, cleanliness, healthcare, pollution, poverty elimination. So, one thing is very, very clear, that Labharti politics of welfareism married to cultural nationalism is the mana, is the mantra. It has worked for the Prime Minister. Now, that is the reason why you have competitive Labharti politics in this country. It's not a joke. 76% in education, 67% sanitation, 64% healthcare. It's not a joke. it means that some of the initiatives in context of civil society he took is a runway hit. It's time for a short break. We'll be back and we'll discuss why. Because the focus of the party is on the tackling issue of corruption. But the people are voting the Prime Minister and giving him number one distinction is on education, sanitation and cleanliness.
मेक इन इंडिया जैसे है ना, वैसे ही एक मूवमेंट चलना चाहिए, मेड इन इंडिया.
Nowadays, you're seeing there is a color palette, a theme, and even a whole designer concept to the wedding.
I think the entire headache which the relatives used to take is now gone to the wedding planner.
And India, in terms of diversity, gives you all the options to do your residential weddings within India itself.
The big fat Indian wedding will end up adding to the growth of India's economy.
Welcome back. So the Prime Minister Modi's approval ratings are soaring high right before the Lok Sabha elections. And I think the ratings are not going to fall. They might plateau. So going back to Raj Lakshmi Joshi, very interesting. 76% for education, sanitation and cleanliness, 67% for cleanliness, 42% for handling corruption. You know, it's pretty clear. You know, voters know the issues on which they want to vote the Prime Minister for. So, you know, the issue of corruption can be an agenda for BJP, but people are voting him for education, sanitation, healthcare, even environment. Prime Minister has done very, very well. Raj Lakshmi Joshi.
Yes, Mr. Karthikeyan, I would say that is because, when it came to the corruption part of it, yes, he did make a lot of promises. He had said, he had made a list of all these people who were corrupt, and he still is behind them. So, and you may see that there is such a huge hue and cry about the ED raids, etc., etc. So that is nothing surprising. And in fact, he is following exactly what he had promised that he would do. But the political parties are looking at it as political vendetta. But the citizens probably want even more action on that front. But, when it came to the education, the healthcare, the sanitation, all these issues, the PM has, and in fact his government has, I would say they've delivered much more than what they had promised. In fact, when it came to sanitation, he had not even probably mentioned it, during any of his campaigns, but then he did come out very strongly in favor of all these issues. So which are very huge social issues, and these are the things that should have been taken up right from the time of Indian independence, but then these were ignored. And today, all these things have made a huge impact on the lives of the people, and that is why they are rating him so highly on all these issues. So this is something that he had actually not maybe promised about, but like they say that you promise less and then you deliver more. So that is what he has done on all these fronts. And when it came to the corruption part of it, the maybe the expectation was much more, and that is still to happen. And I think that even though these almost all the people whom he had listed out, they are all under the scanner of the ED and of the CBI. So that is why it is not as if he has not done anything on that front, but then maybe the people want more on that front. So I think that even now, the PM is seeking more and more numbers simply because he wants more strength so that he can take all these issues very strongly, and he wants to make very huge social reforms, and that is the reason why he wants this majority, and that is the reason why he's looking for 370 plus for the BJP itself and 400 plus. So that is a huge goal that he has set for himself and for the political party. And the way the things are going, it looks like it could be a very huge possibility. Like earlier, we were wondering how the numbers are going to add up, but now it looks like more and more of a possibility because he is gaining strength to strength, not just in terms of popularity, but more and more people are joining him too. More and more allies are joining him. So, that looks like a possibility now.
Okay, Sanjay, your thoughts on it, if you look at these numbers?
Yeah,
42% and
Kartikeya,
76%.
I'm not going to start with the 76 and 67%. I will start with the 42%. And what is the reason behind it? Why is coming? These numbers are very low as compared to the rest of the numbers and the graphs. There is a reason behind it. People believe on Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi ji, is no doubt on that, and they know very well that this is against the corruption. But why the question mark here arise in the people of India? When the outsiders are joining the Bharatiya Janata Party, I'll give you the example like Subhendu Adhikari. I'm just giving example like Ajit Dada Pawar. People create, have a question mark in their mind and they think they were corrupt. And obviously BJP has been targeting these folks as a corrupt leader. But why they are working with them? But the politics is totally different. People will not understand what is the politics and what is how to handle it. So that's why the numbers are down in corruption.
Honest
and why
answer.
is it, sorry, sir.
An honest answer.
Yeah. This is a fact. Number two, when we talk about sanitization and 67 and 76%, I'll tell you the reason. When Mr. Modi became a prime minister and he gave a speech from Lal Killa, when he said Sauchalay, I was a little bit surprised what he's talking Sauchalay. So for everyone, Sauchalay was a big thing, but he has delivered 11 crore Sauchalay to the people of India. That's a commitment, and that's the way he is working. So we need to understand. We need to understand two things. One is the politics, how the politics work. We need to have, alliances, coordination, politics, and all the things. Second thing, what is the agenda you have in your mind, and what are the scheme you're implementing for the people of India, for the normal, I would say, mango man. So that's two things are totally different. That's why if you look at number of education is very high, percentage of sanitation is very high, and people are also believing in environmental very high, but in corruption is very low. So people think differently, and politicians, analysts think differently. That's the only reason.
Sanjay, but there's also one more thing. His popularity rating soared after Pran Pratishthan, 10%. So it also means that there is a wide acceptance of temple of Bhagwan Ram. Brijesh, I would like to I would like you to come on this. As Congress and BJP has been saying, ये तो political है. 10% is not a small jump. 2%, 3%, 4%, but quantum jump within a month is something reflective of larger societal change in context of perceiving that event.
Well, Kartikeya, the problem is that the opposition would want to see a particular event in a particular way. You can't fault them for that. But then there is a reality.
Correct.
It's like 5 blind people touching an elephant and trying to figure out the shape and size of the elephant. The thing is that when you do a Pran Pratishtha in Ayodhya, which has been revered by crores and crores of Hindu, when the Pran Pratishtha was done, when there was a widespread belief that that Hindus were wrong, and this Pran Pratishtha was seen as an epoch event in Hindu civilization, as righting a wrong of centuries. It was but natural that there was a groundswell of support. Now, we discussed this during the Pran Pratishtha also, Kartikeya. If you look at the number of devotees making a beeline to visit and have a deco at Ram Lala's idol, the numbers are staggering. Lakhs and lakhs of people are going.
Absolutely, Brijesh.
So, and it is reflecting on the Prime Minister's popularity.
Raj, isn't that the reason? The Pran Pratishtha, people were dismissing it, and it changed the way. Because Pran Pratishthan is the center of India's cultural consensus. It's very clear now.
Yes, definitely. I would not say that is the only reason. But you know what? The opposition has actually played into the hands of the BJP, I would say. See, the BJP had not made it a BJP ka event. Very frankly, the invites that went were all from the side of the Ram Mandir Trust. But the opposition has made it a BJP ka event. The opposition made it something that the BJP has put up. So because they kept on saying, they kept on calling it a BJP ka event, and they made it that. They could have been a part of the entire event. They could have made it a historic event. They could have said this is Bharat ka event. But they did not. They chose to make it a BJP ka event. And that is where the BJP gained from it and the opposition lost. So the entire perception was that these people are all opposed to the idea of the Ram Lalla temple. And that is a huge setback for the entire opposition. And today, they're only trying to add more and more to it by making all kinds of ridiculous statements. They're simply not able to understand that they cannot actually go against the idea of Ram. I mean, that may or may not be the
Fair
entire
enough.
political
Fair enough, absolutely. Sanjay, Pran Pratishthan ceremony and the 10% jump. So it's just not about a ceremony, it's also about a reflection of what constitutes India's center today. And by Narendra Modi, by embracing it, also embrace that consensus.
Absolutely, Karthike. Lord Rama belongs to everyone. 140 crore people obviously believe in that Lord Rama. And if any, it's not a political event. Obviously, we have a sentiment, and we obviously Bhagwan Ram has been fighting for his own case from last 500 years. And obviously, second thing, look at the commitment Mr. Modi and the BJP has delivered. They have committed for 370. They have delivered. They committed for Ram Mandir. They delivered. And Pran Pratishtha is a puja. The opposition party if not able to understand the sentiment of this of the people, then they are not fit for the politics. Politics is all about the voters' sentiments and the feelings. You need to grab the opportunity and how the people are reacting, and you need to react accordingly. You are just trying to create and making a story that is a BJP event is hurting the sentiment of the 140 crore people. I'm not taking Hindu or Muslim or Sikh aside differently. A sentiment of 142 crore people. So any political party, and here in this game, as an analyst, I would say BJP is very, very smart. They know how to play and when to play and what time they have to play. I'm not saying they are
Sanjay,
smart.
it doesn't make a difference who is smart. I think the Prime Minister comes out like a shining star. The bottom line is,
absolutely, he's a star.
Absolutely, if you look at the ratings of the Prime Minister, let us put those ratings on screen. I think he comes across as the star. The Prime Minister ratings are at 75%, and that's why the Prime Minister is a star. And I would say that that's the most important thing. So the bottom line is that the Prime Minister's ratings are at 75%, and this 75% rating is reflection of the work of 9.5 years, and that's the bottom line. So this is all on point, but don't go away. On the other side of on point, I'm going to talk about a decision which is a game changer for both Northeast and India's East for Bharatiya Janata Party. But after a short break.
It's probably the best kept secret in India.
Family-owned business which has been extremely clinical in their approach. They have not hesitated